Hello children, let's continue with our lesson. British East India Company. We are seeing how did the traders became rulers. Moving on to the topic Anglo-Maratha War. Anglo-Maratha War is a war between the British Army and the Maratha Army. Three Anglo-Maratha wars were fought between 1775 and 1818. There were two important groups among the Marathas. One was headed by Raghunath Rao, who was a bit old in age, while the other group was headed by Madhav Rao too, who was a bit young. British supported Raghunath Rao, while the other Marathas supported Madhav Rao too. This resulted in the first Anglo-Maratha War, where British were forced to accept Madhav Rao too as the Peshwa. Peshwa means for that particular kingdom, he is the Prime Minister. During the course of time, Marathas chiefs started fighting among themselves. So, when there was no unity among the Maratha clans, it was very much easy for the British to go and ruin their situation. So, British made use of this particular situation and defeated the Marathas. I repeat, the Marathas were they themselves fought against each other, and the British made use of this right situation, thereby defeating the Marathas. The post of Peshwa was abolished by the British and large parts of Maratha kingdom were annexed by the British, making them virtual rulers of the Maratha kingdom. Thus, the British East India Company became virtual rulers of the Maratha kingdom. Virtual rulers means the actual power of control will be in the hands of British East India Company. That is, the decision making power will be with the British. But the ruler who is in that particular kingdom will be as a dummy king. Anglo-Mysore War. Mysore was a powerful kingdom under Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. Once British had promised Hyder Ali that they would come for help along with their army if Hyder Ali gets attacked by the Marathas. That situation came, that is, the Marathas attacked Hyder Ali, but the British did not come for help. Hyder Ali became angry when the British betrayed him by giving false promises. In 1782, Hyder Ali died, leaving his son Tipu Sultan to carry on the rival. Rival means enmity between them and the British. Now that during the Anglo-Mysore War, Tipu Sultan was defeated by the British. It is also believed that some local Indian rulers had supported the British and helped the British in order to defeat Tipu Sultan. Thus, during the Anglo-Mysore War, Tipu Sultan was defeated. With the death of Tipu, the British were rid of one of their most bitter enemies. Strategies used by the British. Subsidiary alliances. Lord Wellesley wanted to make Britain the most important power in India. So, instead of wasting money on wars, he used a strategy to increase Britain's power by making the rulers enter into the subsidiary alliances. In this system, if any local Indian ruler gets threat from external forces, then they would get help from the British. The British would protect them by providing their army. So the full security for that particular ruler will be provided by the British. An Indian ruler had to maintain the British troops either by paying money or giving some of the territory to maintain that particular British troop. This allowed the British to maintain large army at the expenses of the local ruler, because all the expenses will be taken care by the local rulers. Even though the local rulers got protection, they lost their independence as they could not fight or sign any other treaties with other outside powers. So the protection for a local ruler will be given by the British because they will be arranging army troops for them, that is for the local ruler. By this method, the British easily maintained the army with the expenses of local rulers. And even though the local rulers got good security or protection, they were unable to fight outside with others. So this agreement was called as subsidiary alliances. Alliances means partnership with the British. Second strategy, doctrine of lapse. This doctrine of lapse was introduced by the Lord Dalhousie. In India, we have the practice of adopting a son or a child if we do not have our own child, right? But the British refused to recognize such adoptions. The British did not acknowledge adoptions as the proper child or proper heir. So, when a ruler dies without a natural heir, that is, without the proper next generation, if a king or ruler dies, then that particular state or region or kingdom will be annexed by the British. That is what they say. The British refused to recognize such adoptions. Even if the king adopt any other son as their own son, the British did not accept it. One more strategy was used by the British was annexations. Annexations means to taking in control of the neighboring territories. This annexation was done in stages. First, initially, the British would take virtual control of the state. Virtual control means from the outside, if we see, it will be like a king's rule. But actually, what happens inside is king will be just for the sake of position. The entire decision making control will be in the hands of British. Okay, so the king will be obeying whatever the British East India Company says. That particular king will be a dummy king, or the king will be for just namesake. The decision will be taken by the British only. Then they will start collecting tax, more and more tax to maintain their own troops. And finally, one fine day, what will the British do? That that particular ruler did not rule the place properly, or he is unfit to rule. So by saying this, the British can annex that particular kingdom from the ruler, saying the ruler is unfit to rule anymore. So annexing means taking control of that particular kingdom or territory. The British complete their conquest. Anglo-Sikh War. In the region of Punjab, Ranjit Singh maintained friendly relationship with British. After his death, during the year 1839, the Khalsa, that is the Sikh army, became powerful and they were totally against the British. Between the years 1845 and 1849, the British fought Anglo-Sikh War with the Sikhs army. Since the Sikhs army Khalsa did not like and they were opposing the British, Anglo-Sikh War took place. But unfortunately, the Sikhs were defeated. Thus, Punjab became a vassal state of the British. Vassal state means they have to obey the British hereafter. More or less, they are under the control of the British. Annexation of Awadh. In 1801, half of the Awadh was taken away by the British. Like it was annexed by the British by signing a treaty. Since then, the Nawabs of Awadh were dependent on the British and obeyed the British East India Company. In 1856, Lord Dalhousie annexed Awadh without any proper provocation. Provocation means without any proper permission, annexed illegally. This act of British was universally condemned and became one of the main reasons of the revolt of 1857. Thus, by the year 1856, the whole of the India was under the control of British. Reasons for the success of British. So, the following are the reasons which helped the British to become more successful in becoming rulers from traders in India. There was no unity at all among the Indians. So, it was very much convenient for them to get inside and confuse the situations here. Intelligence of the British. They were very smart to control the Indian kings here. Indians were preferring non-Indian products. If Indians would have preferred Indian products, then the British trade might have become unsuccessful, so that it would have not led them to become rulers, or it would have not even led them to collect taxes in India. Only by collecting tax, they became financially dominant. Only by becoming financially dominant, the British East India Company became administratively dominant. So, this particular situation has arisen by supporting them. If the Indians have supported Indian traders instead of the British traders, India would have not lost its wealth. British were having lots of resources and manpower. So these were the reasons for the British East India Company to become rulers from traders in India. Jai Hind. Thank you.